On to the next step. Before we get these windows in, we're gonna go ahead and install our door. Or actually, before we install the door, let's go ahead and get all of our details on the door here. I had to reprint one of these. I lost it apparently. All right, so just a little bit more glue. So with this, I'm gonna go ahead and grab some tweezers. Use some better ones. All right, just grab the tweezers here. And what you're gonna do is you're just gonna try and, you just wanna make sure you know where it's gonna go. So we know we're gonna go here. So let's just go ahead and make sure that everything fits. All right, feels good. So we'll flip it over. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and just put a dab. I'll grab that here in a minute. I'm gonna put 2 dabs of glue, one here and then one right below it. Right there. Okay, so we'll do the same technique. Just ball it up, just a little ball. If you get this one on the paint, it will fog up. All right. So let's go ahead and grab our wiper, and you'll notice on the wiper that there's actually a cutout here and a cutout here on one of the sides, and you want that to be going down, or I'm sorry, you want that to go up. So let's go ahead and get this lined up and then push it down. All right, and that looks great. Let's do this next one. Fantastic. That's how you want that to look. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing for the door handle. Just use tiny little ball. You don't want much on there. A little bit a long way. These parts are very small. You don't need much on there. All right, so let's go ahead and grab our handle. You'll notice that the bigger part, the smaller part goes towards the top of the door, bigger part towards the bottom. Let's go ahead and get that lined up. All right, lined up good, and then we're gonna go ahead and push down on it. And it should go right inside those recesses. All right. Cool, there's our door. And we'll go ahead and let that dry just a little bit. Then we'll go ahead and start getting this prepped. So this is a 0.8 millimeter stainless rod. Reason why I chose 0.8 is because you could use a paper clip. Paper clips are 0.8, and this paper clip had like a coating on it, and I thought that was pretty cool. And this is what I tested with until I got these 0.8 rods, and there's some slight bends in it. What I ended up doing is just laying it flat and then kind of smushing down on it, grabbing some pliers and smushing it down. And I actually got this to work great. For this door and this door, I'm going to use this this wire here. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and pick up the door, and then we're going to go ahead and set it in place right there, and then we're going to slide our wire in. And you may have to play with it. So it's giving me a hard time, so I'm just going to make sure that my hole here is solid. Okay, so it feels okay. It feels like there's nothing in there. So what we may need to do is just smush it. There we go. All right. Okay, so then what I'll do is, you guys will notice that it's just too long. So what I'll end up doing is I'll pull it out a little bit, put my thumb kind of right where I think it is. All right, I won't even do that. I'll just pull it up with this. So we'll go down, and then we'll pull out a little bit. Come on, guy. We'll just do it with our fingers. Right there. Okay, so then what we'll do is we'll come in, and we're gonna cut it. And we'll push the rest of that wire in. And there you go. Now we have a crooked door handle. It's okay, you can hardly notice it. So you'll have a working door. Once we get it together, you'll go ahead and smush it in. You'll also notice that you'll think, why is that wire, that hole so much bigger than that wire? It's the way that this was modeled. It needed a bigger hinge point, but it also needed a hole in there to do this. So, and I wanted to keep it kind of small and not as noticeable. So what I ended up doing is just making the hole slightly bigger than that rod. I think it's a 1.5 millimeter hole, and then that rod's a 0.8. And then that allows us to open it all the way. When I did it with the other, with a 1 millimeter hole, it was just too tight. It didn't seem like it was gonna work all that great. So this seems to work really, really well. And again, we can close it, but this is it for that. So let's go ahead and move on to our windows. The rest of our windows, excuse me. So, unique part about this is I made these window inserts, and the point of the window inserts was to make sure that that if we wanted to replace the windows or whatever the case is, that we would be able to do that, or just do it just like this to where it's not permanent, and also we don't have to mess with the glue. So I'm gonna go ahead and take our plastic off here. Okay. Come on. All right. Good one. All right. All right. So what we'll want to do is go ahead and tilt your cab back and drop this in place. Oh, oops. Hopefully it fits. So you're going to want to make sure that it fits before you go and do all this. That feels good. All right. That feels great. Just go ahead and take our insert here and then press it in. Beautiful. Now you might have some slight resistance, but don't worry too much. Just keep pushing, it'll be good. You can glue those in if you want to, if you don't like the way that looks or feels. But Bob's your uncle, and that's that. So go ahead and do that with the rest of your windows. All right, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and get my base done. So set this to the side here. I'll go ahead and screw all these in. Got our countersunks. These are M3 by 10. A little long. M3 by 8s would work out way better. There. Ooh, grab our chair. You're gonna glue your armrests on. Once you do that, let's go ahead and get her installed. Gonna place her in position. And on this one, you're actually gonna need a little bit longer screws. Maybe not that long. Fortunately, I'm running out of usable screws, so. Yeah, that's just way too long. Oop. Try one of these. That'll work. By 12. Looks great. Okay, last one. Let's go ahead and get our front console bolted in. You're gonna use these 8s, or they might be 10s. Let me check. 10. You don't want to get your M3 by 10s. And on this, I put the decals on for the screens. And I also did a little bit of paint and such. So. Alright, so once we get this base done, we'll go ahead and get our cab installed. The clamp.
Clamp on here.
Alright, gonna go flush down just like that. And then what we'll do, we'll take our M2 by 8s. Bro, you guys can do
No.
What? Alright, then we'll do 2 down here, and that's going to lock this front in place. Same size, M2 by 8. So I guess you try to put down now, it's freaking delicious. Alright, so this is what we're left with. So I'm going to go ahead and get this top on. Alright, and these are going to be the same size screws. And I'll actually, the 2 that aren't going to be the same, you're going to get this screw here, and this screw here are going to be your M2 by 6. Same with over here. The rest of these are going to be M2 by 8s. So I'm going to start with my corners. I'm just going to get this back here. We're going to go M2 by 8. Okay, so I gotta delete these. If I hopefully I by the time this video comes out, I will have taken these out. But you're not gonna use these two holes if they are there. That won't allow you to close the door and open it and such, or close it at least. I might have to sand some of that down below or take some of that off. Let's look.
I got it. Hello. Look at my
That's it. That's your finished cab. Now, if you want lights and all that stuff, you're gonna have to run all that through here and down. I made some channels. I don't see the channel here. I thought I made one. I'll have to check in on that and maybe just model it in. But this is what you're gonna have so far as the cab. And then to finish that off, we'll add our, thanks dude.
Yeah? Yeah?
We'll go ahead and get our, these guys screwed in. This is gonna be our front wiper, right? I'm gonna get our rear wiper on. Okay, so we got our front wiper on, got all the details, got that wiper on. So now I'm gonna go ahead and figure out how I'm gonna run my my wiring. It looks like I got a channel right here and right here. So I'm gonna see if I can, what I need to do to get that done. Worst case scenario, I'll just run something down the side here. Let's go ahead and set that to the side. Let's go ahead and build our roll bar here. All right, so let's take our lights out. We're gonna build these real quick. aren't those the tiniest of screws? I had no idea they used these screws. Probably use these to build some cabs.
Man, did you grab a jigsaw piece? Hey, Jaden, can you please stop playing with stuff?
All right, I almost forgot about these lights, these pod lights. So I actually had to build them. They kind of came like this. And I built these off camera just to kind of get it done. And then I'll do the rest off camera as well. But I wanted to show you guys how I solder. Hopefully this will help you guys. You're gonna need a wet sponge, some flux. And I use this toothpick just to help me get it in places that I can't get into by dipping in here. So what I'll do is I'll dip my wire ends inside this flux, get them nice and gunked up. All right, and these actually come pre-wired, but I actually for this for the sides of the cab, I needed to extend these wires, so we're gonna go ahead and extend them. I use this ribbon, 28 gauge ribbon wire that I found. It comes with a strand of 4. I really like this stuff. I like that it's all black, real nice stuff. So only bad part is one side is going to be doesn't have any markings on it. So if that bothers you guys, don't get this wire. If it doesn't, it won't matter to you. So we just got to make sure we pay attention to which wire is which when we do it, which we can do a continuity test when we're ready for it. All right, so what we'll do is make sure your solder is ready to go, your gun. Grab your solder. And then you're gonna need heat shrink as well. All right, so we'll grab some of this stuff and then we'll just go ahead and pre-cut some. We'll need 4 pieces. For right now anyways. Okay, so clean your tip off. Number 1 tip, always clean this tip off. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and preload it with a little bit of solder. And we're gonna do the same on all of these wire ends. Just go ahead and dab it up. Dab her up, dab her up. Try not to breathe that in too. This contains lead. All right. So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get one of these wire ends and we're gonna put our heat shrink on one end of these wires. All right, you want them to be down a little bit because this wire is gonna get hot. All right, we'll go ahead and preload our tip. And then we're gonna go ahead and solder. With this wire, it's really simple. Just a quick touch. It doesn't need much. And then I'll use something like this, like a weight, so this one wire doesn't move here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but wipe the tip off. All right, then we're gonna go ahead and slide our heat shrink over. All right, and I'm a smoker, so I have my lighter. If you don't have a lighter, maybe get like a heat gun. You could always use the tip of the gun too. All right, so that's done for right now. Let's go ahead and move on to this one. Let's get our heat shrink. Don't be afraid of soldering. Soldering's not hard. Sure, there's like little pieces and such, but it's nothing crazy. All right, so with the stranded wire, we're gonna go ahead and put the striped as our positive. So just a quick tat. That one's done. Go ahead and add our weight. And we'll do our negative. All right, wipe our sponge off, or wipe our tip off, excuse me, on the sponge. Set it to the side. Grab this, heat shrink once again. Set that end down. There it is. All right, so now we have that soldered up and we are ready to go ahead and install. And then I'll, this is what it came with, and I'm gonna go ahead and attach those wires once I get them in there. But for now, let's go ahead and get those installed, and I'll show you guys how I'm doing that. Let's get this all moved over out of the way. Okay, so first we're gonna get our mounts installed and how those go on. Clean this up if you have to. I had to clean up this hole. Looks good. Okay, so we'll go ahead and set this down. Make sure we got none of this stuff in the way. All right, looks good to me. Clean all that off. Get some of this hair out of here. Okay. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna get these mounted down on here. Oh no. Oh. So it doesn't really matter which way you guys put them. I didn't really think about how the door might not be able to open if that light's there. All right, should be good. So I'm gonna put these mounts like this on this side here. Checking to see if my wire's gonna fit, and I may put this in first. Oops. All right, a lot harder than that. So let's go ahead and get this installed. Yeah, it's too tight. So these are M2x5 for these guys. I'm gonna change to 6, but I want to get rid of this hanger. That kind of looks in as well. Oh, you know what? We're using it now. You know it is. Oh. Maybe it came with that because those are threaded. Let's see. gonna get it. Should definitely try and hit the hole. Yeah, we'll use those. I like those a lot. Way better than those other ones. I don't know if I'll be able to get to this hole, but what we're gonna do is just leave it like that. Okay, so that's what that'll look like. And we'll go ahead and you can adjust it if you wanted to up and down, but that's how we're gonna go ahead and leave ours. I can dig it. So let's go ahead and do this other side real quick. Now, it came with some of these guys, but I'm just going to use these self-tappers. Go ahead and use our M5s. Okay, so now that we got our lights in on the sides there, we're going to go ahead and get the bottom cab in. Oops. Or the bottom portion of this cab. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and start to slide it over. Well, we're gonna do it a little differently actually. So we wanna make sure that our wires go where they need to go. So which could prove to be slightly difficult. All right, so we got that down. So go ahead and get that all the way down. And we'll use our M2 by 8s to go ahead and screw the main cab frame to the cab plate or base. So I'm gonna end up taking this back off, this top part, excuse me, only because I need to get my wires from back here from the roll bar. All the lights are going to be on there as well, and I want to get my wires back down through here. And what I've done is I made a channel here to do that, but I just need to be able to get the wires to actually go down. So we'll go ahead and do that after I get these last screws in. All right. So we got all that done. I'm just gonna close these doors so I don't have to hear them flopping around anymore. Weird. That was really, really tough. Okay. Alrighty. Looking good. So like I said, I'm gonna take this top back off, and I'll do that off camera.